Indeed, good evening and thank you so much for joining us for a special edition of Citizen TV Sports. And we're on location here in Majengo, Mombasa County. I'm sure you've been following our coverage over the weekend as far as news is concerned. And you've noticed we've been focusing on the coastal area. And as the sports desk, we thought it prudent to continue with the same spirit. Now, we are more specifically placed this evening at an artificial pitch here in Majengo, where we'll be interested to find out why this particular facility was set up here in Mombasa County. Of course, it mirrors what has been set up in other countries, specifically in Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil. Something similar has been set up in the football nation, where perhaps it was to nurture future football talent and also using sports for change. Well, I don't want to divulge more. Mike Okinyi will be having a special guest who will be telling us more as far as that facility is concerned. Now, let's take a look at what was making headlines as far as the sports news is concerned. And Harambee Stars captain Victor Wanyama Mugubi won the man of the match performance in the Tottenham Hotspur victory against Manchester City over the weekend. Will not be featuring for Kenya in tomorrow's friendly against the Democratic Republic of Congo in an international friendly. Now, head coach Stanley Okumbi said that he opted to not to call up Mugubi in regards to his welfare, avoiding a scenario where the player would have played in 2 games in 2 continents in about 48 hours. So that would have been a difficult achievement for the football star. But nonetheless, the national team departed. They are already in Kinshasa for tomorrow's clash, where the Foreign Legion of Michael Olunga, Ismail Gonzalez, Amos Esakalie and Abud Omar will be linking up with the team in Kinshasa for that international friendly. We take a look at rugby now, and the Kenya Rugby Union has set an interviewing calendar to select the new coach of the national sevens team after Benjamin Ayimba's contract transpired, or rather ended last week. The National Sports Management Committee, which has been tasked with that responsibility, they have said that they have so far received about 7 applications, that is 4 local coaches who are interested in becoming the head coach of the national sevens team, as well as 2 coaches from international tacticians who are eyeing that spot. Now, the management committee will name the new coach by the 12th of this month, ahead of the new World Rugby Sevens season. Let's cross the borders now and take a look at the Spanish La Liga. The biggest talking point was the fact that Barcelona, they lost and they were facing off against Celta Vigo. And in that particular fixture, Jeremy Matthews' own goal and Pione Sisto and Lago Aspas' individual goals in the first half gave Celta Vigo the head start in a thrilling match, where the hosts thrashed the La Liga defending champions by 4-3 in a match that was played at the Bailados Stadium.
To the box, Celta Vigo player. What's a great ball through. Sisto! Aspas. Well, he's lonesome, but he has Hernandez with support. He goes solo, and he scores for a third here, Celta. Oh, they've got a good chance, and Matthew gets there. It is the third goal. Neymar. Iniesta's cross. The goalkeeper came, but he didn't get there. Barca back in it. Neymar plays cat and mouse. And he bites back for Barcelona.
In general, would make that change as well, taking off the holding midfield player.
Oh, Ter Stegen! What is he doing? Well, needs to find his namesake somehow. It does. Gets past 3 defenders. It's in there, and they've got the goal. 4 minutes to go.
Drink to the beer that always stands tall. That's the most globally awarded Kenyan brew. Because a winning team drinks a winning beer.
That's it as far as the sports news is concerned. But up next is Mike Okinyi. Remember, we're in Majengo, Mombasa County, where we are at, specifically at a artificial pitch that has been set up here in Mombasa County, and Mike Okinyi, as a special guest, will be telling us more as far as that facility is concerned and the rationale behind setting it up here in Majengo. Mike?
Thank you very much, Bernard Ndong. Like you said, we are live coming to you from Mombasa. We're doing the football in a different way from what we do usually. During the day, if you remember, we were at the beach with Bandari FC, the only Kenyan Premier League team that comes from the coast, and today we are out in the night, playing football, one of the concepts that has not been adopted. There is no public open grounds with floodlights, artificial turf in the whole country. We have the privilege of being joined by Governor 001, Hassan Joe.
Asante, thank you for coming, my brother. Yes.
Very impressive. Where did the idea come from?
Well, this is something that I saw when I was in Madrid.
Yes.
And we decided that when I came back with my team, we decided that we were going to do 30 of 7-a-side football pitch across the county. So basically we want to do one in each ward that will allow the young people to use the facility and nurture talent. But we opted for this one first because you remember very well, we are about 300 meters from the famous Masjid Musa. This really was known to be a bedrock of radicalization. So we felt that we needed to get the community involved in many activities.
Yes.
So that is why we made a decision of setting this one up within the center of the community so that the young people around this area can be able to use this facility. But what we found to be very interesting is that we realized that even women were interested in playing soccer. They only never had that opportunity to do so. So we have a program that takes care of the elderly, the young people, and the women. So that's why we decided we needed to do floodlights, because if you came here on an ordinary day, you will have people playing probably until almost midnight. And for the neighborhood, the parents now are happy because they know where their children are and what they're doing. So for us, it is one of our flagship in areas we want to do with sports. And we are hoping that we are going to have a broader approach generally in sports going forward. But at the beginning, this is what we have done.
You started with Majengo. 30 of them. It's not an easy task to build 30 of them. How long did it take to build?
This one took us probably about 3 months. Once we made the decision, it took us about 3 months. Because you remember, this is a parking yard. There was a lot of truckers here that were parking their trucks every day. So we first of all needed to clear this place and move away the trucks, then get these people to now come and do the construction. So that is what took us a bit longer. But the other ones that we are doing now, we're moving a little bit faster. Within 40 days to 60 days, we are able to complete full construction.
How do you hand over to the community? How does the community share this?
Well, in every area that we build one, we form up a committee that involves the young people and the elderly to basically do a roster. And the county, of course, comes through to maintain and ensures that standards are maintained and the field is actually looked after. So basically this particular one is being run by the local community here. They have a committee that they have formed. And of course, we are working with in conjunction with the area member of parliament also in the involvement of the community.
So, when you talk about building 30 of them, we know land is an issue in terms of creating the spaces. The formerly public places where there used to be community fields and stuff have been grabbed or have been allocated to something else, because I believe this looks like a road reserve as well.
Yes, even this had initially been grabbed, but we are working very closely with the National Land Commission so that we can relook into the process when we feel that somebody has grabbed a public utility plot. And one of the reasons as to why we settled for 7-a-side is that because we knew very well we did not have a lot of free land that could be used, even though we have in other areas set aside funding and construction has begun for many stadiums. So we will also have 11-a-side. Currently we are doing 5 11-a-side. There's one we're doing in Likoni, Kisauni, Nyali constituency, Changamwe and Jombe.
So these are fully fledged pitches, 11-a-side football pitch.
There shall be fully fledged pitches.
What does this come with?
The sitting arrangements, floodlights, artificial turf, basically a mini stadium.
With all this, so funding for this pitches, because you say you went to Madrid, looked at what they had and came back and decided in 3 months you want to do this. Was this allocated in the budget? Have you allocated the budget for the other ones? And what about
the first time when I went and decided that this is what we want to do, we had to, of course, review our budget.
Yes.
We hadn't, in the last financial year, catered for construction of this facility. But over the period, we were able to do different proposals for different areas. And you know, the thing with this construction, it all depends on the kind of earthworks that needs to be done. Yes. So the cost also varies. It's not consistent.
Yes.
So we have, we do set aside an amount, and then progressively we decide on where or what needs to be done before the other, so that we can afford to implement within the budget and in good time.
The 5 mini stadiums that we're talking about, pitches are a big problem in this country.
Yes.
Football pitches. If you look at our Kenyan Premier League right now, we only have, when you're playing international matches, other teams from foreign land, we only have Nyayo and Kasarani. Yes. No other stadium has been certified as good enough. Bandari won the Go TV Shield last year. They played the continental matches, but they had to travel from Mombasa to Nairobi to play their matches. Now, question would be, in this 5 stadiums that you are building, the mini stadiums, are you working with the federation? Are you working with anybody that
from the inception, from the designing, we of course had to involve the local federation. The FKF leadership here was involved in the design. For example, right now we are renovating the stadium, and the federation is playing a leading role because they understand what needs to be done way better than we do, and therefore we will not pretend that we know it all, but definitely, and in the spirit of public participation anyway, so they are playing the leading role in ensuring that we do the right thing.
Now that you brought up that question, 2018 we are hosting CHAN, the Cup of Nations for local based players, and Mombasa County is looked upon as one of the host cities. Well, Mombasa County has everything except that pitch. How far are you in terms of renovating that pitch? We are 60% done with the renovations of our main stadium, and we are in a conversation with the National Federation on the kind of designs that they expect us to meet and the standards. Yes. We are hoping we should be. In fact, we have the timelines clearly stipulated, and we're running the program together with them. So we're hoping probably by the end of the year we should have completed the stadium renovation and prepare to host the tournaments. Back to our mini pitches, there's 30. When do you expect that you'll have the program rolled out? Because you're doing the mini stadiums now. Are they running concurrently? They're 7 aside. They are running concurrently, and our plan is to ensure we do at least 60 to 70% by the closure of this fiscal year. So by June next year, we should have done at least 60% of the target number or target figure, which is 30. So hopefully we should have 18, 19 towards the end of the fiscal year. In terms of usage, do you have a database of the teams that... Oh, certainly, because one of the challenges we had here when we wanted to do programs or rollout programs for de-radicalization in Mombasa, we felt that we needed to account for our children. We needed to know where they are, what they're involved in, and who they're involved with. So we actually keep a record of all the young people that come and use these facilities. The committee reports to the Department of Sports in the county on the kind of programs, the tournaments, the number of teams that are involved, because we also have programs to support them by giving jerseys, for example, the footballs, and many other programs, incentives when they roll out tournaments, trophies.
So of course we have to know who they are and what they're involved in. It has helped us a great deal.
When you came in into office as the first governor of Mombasa, I'm sure you're concerned because you love football, I know. I'm sure it was a concern to you.
I try to play every day, but it's only because we get too busy. But whenever I have free time, I enjoy playing soccer.
Okay, so the standards in Mombasa used to be a conveyor belt of good players from the days of Mahmoud Abbas to the days of Shaban Kenga now and the likes who are playing for Bandari. So have you done a study as a county and pinpointed at the areas where they have contributed to the soccer standards dwindling in this area?
Well, you see, when we were growing up, for example, I can tell you for sure is that we enjoyed playing soccer within the areas that we used to reside. So every village literally had a pitch.
We had space to play.
A space to play. Not necessarily a pitch, but a place to play soccer.
Yes.
So that at some point we lost, and I feel that we need to reclaim this, because this really is what we need to do to allow exposure. Because, for example, if you came to scout in Mombasa, you wouldn't even know where to start. But now, if you want to come to Majengo, for example, you know where to go, and you will find young people playing soccer. So we feel that this program, we have two phases. One is that we have the short term, which helps us to create activities for the young people.
Yes.
And the long-term one is to nurture the talent and ensure that we have room for more exposure, so that when people come to scout, even across the country, they would find it easy to come to Mombasa.
When you're doing the pitches, how close are they to institutions like schools and universities?
By the way, some of them we're actually building in school facilities, areas where we really have no space.
Yes.
We do it in conjunction with the schools, so that during the day the pupils, the students can enjoy the facility, and after 5 o'clock then the community around there is allowed access to use the facilities. So it works for us both ways in promoting sports in schools and in the community.
Job creation.
Yes.
Roughly on this pitch, how many people do you have employed?
Well, we have in every pitch now, we have roughly about 5 people looking after the pitch. The only thing that we were not certain that we want to do is whether we want, there were proposals by the community that they want to charge a small fee. But we said that this is like, for example, this one is done by public funds, and therefore we don't think it is fair to charge anybody. And after all, this is just but the beginning. So we want a lot more people to get involved. And the others, for example, there's one that we built in Mombasa Primary. Mombasa Primary is a community school that my foundation has fully funded to reconstruct. And we've also done one using the Hassan Joho Foundation, so that we can kind of give an incentive to the community that, you know what, we can contribute positively towards the upbringing of our children, and we want to get everybody involved. So for me, this creates a big opportunity for all of us.
This is football. We talked about football and what these pitches will do to improve the levels of football and engage the youth. What about other sports? Is there any plan for them?
Yes, basketball courts. In fact, right adjacent to this one, there shall be a basketball court. We are not sure that we want to do 30 of them, but we want to give it a trial. So we're going to do 2 at the beginning, one here and one in, we've done one before in an estate, so we're going to do 2 more. So then we see if it generates interest, then we will certainly look at doing more basketball courts.
What about swimming? Swimming has been one of the sports that Mombasa is.
Of course, we have produced quite some good swimmers from Mombasa, but for far too long they have been dependent on the ocean. So then when they get into a pool, it becomes tougher to compete with others. But we've also said that we want to do Olympic standard swimming pool, at least one within the county. So there are two options we're looking at. We're looking at one at the stadium and one in a school facility. The Hassan Joho Foundation again has just completed building a swimming pool in a community school in Nyali constituency, which is the Maweni Secondary School. We're hoping that we'll get a lot more of our young people to swim in the swimming pools, because they're very good in the ocean. But it's a bit different, because the current in the ocean sometimes helps in a different way. So it becomes different when they come to the swimming pool. So this is what we want to try, so that we get them to also practice in swimming pools.
Well, we thank you very much. We'll let you warm up a little bit for the game. We're warming up also.
I can tell you, looking at your team,
yes,
it's going to be like 7-0 today.
7-0.
7-0.
On a 7-a-side.
7-a-side, 7-0. Asante.
Warm up. And we shall put it in news tomorrow.
7-a-side, 7-0.
Okay. Well, that is what the governor is talking about. 7-a-side. We're playing 7-a-side. If you didn't know what we are talking about, this is a 7-a-side football pitch. Well, the county government team that is warming up right behind there is going to play with the Royal Media team. And this is the crew that has been at the coast for the last 6 days, bringing to you special editions of our bulletins. And we're running it all with Monday Football. And today, after this session, we will be playing against their county team. Results will come up in your news tomorrow. Well, Wahiga is standing by with another interview as we get ready for that game. Wahiga.
Well, thank you so much, Mike Okin. And even as Governor Joho and the team actually get ready to play against the Royal Media team, briefly, I just want to talk about this stadium. And if my cameraman can help me with this, we've got the perimeter fence that goes around the whole stadium. But an interesting fact here is that even the roof itself is covered with a nice net at the top, just to ensure that the balls don't get over the road, over the fence onto the road and interrupt the traffic that's around here, or get lost as well. These are some of the factors that they thought of as they were constructing this stadium. Just to tell us briefly about it and how they plan on maintaining it, I'm joined by the sports minister for this county here, Mr. Mohamed Abbas, a name that you may have heard from another famous footballer. Bwana Abbas, yo jina najua. Many times people ask you about it in relation to another footballer. What would you say about that?
Basically, that's something that I grew up with ever since I was a kid. Whenever you tell people that your name is Mohamed Abbas, they always end up thinking of Mahmoud Abbas, the goalkeeper, the #1 goalkeeper for Kenya. And the fact that he actually comes from the same neighborhood where we are today, from Majengo. So
it's a good thing for you.
It's a good thing for us. It's a good thing for Mombasa. It's something that people look up to. It's a name that people look up to. So for me to live up to those shoes becomes a very big task and everything, especially for the fact that he took soccer to the next level, not only in Kenya but in Africa in general.
Indeed. Let's talk briefly about this stadium. We've seen many amazing projects in Kenya launched with a lot of flourish, a lot of media focus. 4 or 5 years down the road, you come back to that same stadium or ground or whatever project it is, and it doesn't quite look the same. What is your maintenance plan?
Our maintenance plan, although the grounds have actually been given back to the community, but us as the Department of Youth, Gender and Sports, we still come in every single month to make sure that the grounds are maintained. And you can see for yourself, this ground has been opened more than 2 months back, and it still looks like new. It looks like as if it's just been opened yesterday. So we try to make sure that we maintain the same standards, as this benefits the community directly. And this is not the only ground that we're actually coming up with. From the 7 side, our aim is to have 30 of them all over Mombasa in each and every ward. And we're coming up with 5 11-a-side mini stadiums in all Mombasa sub-counties and all that. So it is a big deal because we've seen the impact. I can tell you one thing for sure, this place was notorious. It's like Aska is saying now, it's football against drugs, it's football against radicalization. And you can see for yourself, this area in Majengo, 3 years back, you couldn't even walk into this area anytime in the evening. Right now where we are right now. And now look around you. The whole community is outside. The whole community is actually here at almost 11 o'clock at night. So you can imagine the impact that this facilities have actually had to the community.
Finally, I just want to find out, how do these young boys, and even girls get to access facilities like this? Are you going to make it very difficult for them?
No. But as I said, the grounds have been given back to the community. So basically, we have a caretaker from the community who holds the keys, and the ground is actually open from 7 in the morning until very late at night, just to make sure that the community, the kids, actually have a safe haven. They have a place that they can actually come down to, a place for them they can actually come and call home, and a place where they can come and nourish the talent that they have.
Asante. Now, we want to actually test and get a feel of this ground. Mike Okinyi has assembled the best of the best from Rural Media, and I'm hoping that they're ready to get that kicked off. And of course, on the other side, we've got Mombasa County team. And so that's what's going to be happening. But for now, we hand you back. Now we've got, of course, with our regular broadcast as well. But the match will happen right now as well.